I wanted to spend a couple of seconds talking about the enrollment process in general, and then I kind of wanted to pass it over to Michael Castro to talk a little bit more specifically in detail about it. But the basic things are that you need to, of course, apply to City College if you're not already a student. You need to take the assessment, and the assessment is on the web, and again, we've talked about it, but I will just show you right now where it's at. It's right here. This is the link for the assessment, and I'll also put it in the chat so that you can see it in the chat. But the what will happen then is after you fill out the assessment form, part of the most important questions on the assessment form are, which classes do you want to sign up for? And what will happen then is that I pass that data onto Michael Castro, and then he is our admissions and records person, and he actually does the actual enrollment. So it's one of those things that you can't actually enroll yourself. The way that you enroll in the class is by filling out the assessment form. And then once you fill out that assessment form, I pass that data on to Michael, and then as long as there are no issues, you'll be enrolled in the class. And again, this is where the assessment is located. But Michael, I thought you should perhaps introduce yourself and spend a few minutes talking about the role that admissions and records has in the process.
Which Michael?
Michael Castro.
Okay, got it.
I cannot hear him.
Yeah, I can't hear him either, and I know that he's here, and I see him. And
Mike, you are in mute.
No can hear he.
Yeah. So there's something's going wrong with Mike's microphone, because I see him speaking, but it's not going through for some reason.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I hear you.
Okay.
What spell did you cast so that you can hear?
Sorry about that, everybody. So I'm Michael. I'm the Enrollment Services Coordinator for San Jose City College. Yes, everyone's talking about the nuts and bolts of all these classes, but let's talk about how to get to these classes. So I'll go over some of these logistics. The thing Mark was talking about, the actual test or the survey, it's completely different than actually applying and registering for these classes. So I want you to know that. But these two things need to sync in order for you to actually be able to be registered for these classes. And one of the first things you need to do is apply at San Jose City College. So you'd have to go to sjcc.edu, apply now. You need to create a new application. So if you've never been a student at San Jose City College, this is really important to do. It's really self-explanatory once you just hit the link and follow some of the questions and submit your application. So once you finish your application, you'll receive a student ID number from us within 24 hours, business hours. That unlocks basically your file, your student file, or your access to the college. And we need that student ID number in order to actually officially register you for these courses. And so you would do your application, about 24 hours, you will receive a student ID number, and then we're able to register you for the classes. Registration is special program. So yes, you can't register yourselves. Usually you would be able to go to MyWeb and register yourself on MyWeb, but that's not the case for these special program classes. So we will register you for the class, And the two things that need to be done is Mark's survey needs to be completed. And you also need to be an actual current student with an active ID or student ID for San Jose City College. If we have those two things together, then we will put you into the class, we'll register you, and then we'll notify you that you've been registered for the class. I want to go over a couple of things. Some people have already gone to college here and are returning from a long, long time ago. You still need to do a new application to open your file up again and be an active student in order to register for the college. So you need to go through the same process as well. Finally, I just want to name off a couple of things that even though you do these steps will hinder you from getting registered on a roster for these classes. And I wrote a couple down, and I get these every semester. So just to let you know, if you haven't been here for a while, you may have a business hold. You know, if you're a returning student, if you have a business hold, you need to get that fixed by going through the business services office. Okay, so you may have some sort of billing on your account, and that will hinder you from us being able to register you for the class. Another would be, and I get this a lot, so maybe you are a current student and you're already taking classes, overlapping times. Remember, these are synchronous classes. So they're technically synchronous within our system. So what that means is you may be adding classes during the same time of these classes. And I know everything's online these days, but keep that in mind. That'll actually not let us register you for these classes. So overlapping times, you will need to see a counselor to get that fixed, typically. So that's another one I see a lot of. And the last one I see is overload. Some of you are some of you are, I mean, you're great. You're students and you're going full time and you're doing a really great job and you're taking on a lot. But remember, we're not able to register you for these classes if you're an overload. Overload's up to 19 units. So if you have anything over 19 units, I can't register you officially for these classes. You'll need to see a counselor in order to do so. So those are some of the three things, even though you meet all that other criteria, that may hinder us from registering you. We'll let you know for sure. And on that note, I'll pass it over to academic counseling to maybe even talk about some of those issues that you might have.